everyone. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're bringing you another great advanced lesson for all those advanced users out there.
That's right. This is a really, really useful lesson for all of our advanced users.
Exactly. You asked for a lesson about job interviews, and well, here we are. We're bringing you the first of 3 parts of the job interview series.
All right. So, Marco, you said it is the first of 3 parts.
Right.
So tell me, what are these 3 parts?
Okay. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at preparing for a job interview.
Okay.
So everything you got to do before the job interview. Part 2 will be talking about your education, your background, your work experience.
Okay.
And in part 3, we'll take a look at some of the common questions that are asked at a job interview.
And so we'll talk about some great ways to answer these questions.
Exactly.
All right. These 3 lessons will be coming out over the next month or so.
Exactly. So we're going to be looking at part 1 today. So let's take a look at some vocabulary preview.
Vocabulary preview.
Well, we have 3 words here in vocabulary preview that you'll hear in the dialogue in a moment. And the first one is actually not really a word, but an acronym.
Right. CRM.
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 So, Marco, you are our marketing guy. Tell us, what is a CRM?
Well, it's really common in marketing. It stands for Customer Relationship Management.
Okay.
Or Customer Relation Management. But basically, it's the relationship that the company has with its customers.
Okay.
So CRM basically has parts like feedback or customer support, problems that they might have, and also information about habits and likes and dislikes from their customers or users.
Okay, but I commonly hear this word used as a noun. So something like, can you check in the CRM?
Right, there is some software out there that's called the CRM. So Sugar CRM or many different softwares, which basically manages your database of customers. Basically software that englobes this whole thing.
Okay, got it. All right, our next phrase in vocabulary preview, custom designed.
Custom designed.
Custom designed.
Custom designed.
So when something is custom designed,
it means it's a special design just for you.
So it's unique.
Right. That's what the word custom means.
Unique, like made especially for one person.
Right. So you have custom designed or also custom made. You see that a lot, for example, in cars, right? A custom made car.
Yes. Or maybe a custom built house.
A custom built house.
Yep.
With your specific likes and dislikes.
Yeah, your
color.
requirements. Yep.
Okay, and our last word, core values.
Core values.
Core values.
Core values.
So the core values of a company. What does the core mean, actually?
The center.
The center, right?
Yep. So, and here I think it's like the center or the most important.
The most important things the company believes in, right?
Right. So maybe respect for the environment.
Okay. Or developing their employees. Okay. So the core values,
Yep.
the main things that the company believes in.
A great phrase for job interviews.
Oh, yes. Very good phrase. Okay. So why don't we listen to our dialogue? Erica, what exactly is happening?
All right. We're going to be listening to 2 friends. And this guy is getting ready to go on a job interview. So his friend is helping him to prepare.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go over everything one more time. I really want you to get this job.
I know, it's an amazing growth opportunity. They're true industry leaders, and it would be so interesting to be part of an organization that is the undisputed leader in business process platform development.
So let's see. You did your research on the company, right?
Wow, I visited the website and read up on what they do. They're an IT service company that offers comprehensive business solutions for large corporations. They provide services such as CRM development, and they also offer custom designed applications.
So what would be your role in the company?
Well, the position is for an account manager. That basically means that I would be the link between our clients and our development team.
Sounds good. And so why do you want to work with them?
Well, as I said, they're the industry leaders. They have a really great growth strategy, amazing development opportunities for employees, and it seems like they have a strong corporate governance. They're all about helping companies grow and unleashing potential. I guess their core values and mission really resonated with me. Oh, and they offer 6 weeks vacation, stock options, and bonuses. I'm totally going to cash in on that.
You idiot! You don't say that. Do you want this job or not?
All right, so he was doing great, but in the end, he said something he shouldn't, right?
Yeah, I don't think talking about money as your primary motivation for coming onto a new company is
Yeah,
really the way to
exactly.
go.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but let's take a look real quick at some language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, in this lesson, we have 5 keywords for you from the dialogue, which we hope that you will remember.
Let's take a look at the first one. Undisputed.
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 So this is kind of a strange word. Let's listen to some examples before we explain it.
Example 1.
It's undisputed that she's the best person for the job.
Example 2.
The undisputed truth is that unemployment is rising. No one doubts that.
Example 3.
He's the undisputed champion of the world.
Well, I can understand from these examples that it means there is no doubt.
There is no doubt.
There's no
Exactly.
question.
Okay, now let's take a look at our second word, growth opportunity.
Growth opportunity.
It's a great growth opportunity
So it's an excellent chance to improve,
to
right?
improve professionally and also on a personal side, right?
Yeah. So talking about growth opportunities, we can also use the phrase a development opportunity
And it's the same thing,
Yeah.
right? To develop, to grow.
to improve yourself.
Okay. Now let's take a look at our third word, read up.
Read up.
Read up.
Read up.
So when you read up on something,
Well, obviously you read it, right?
Right.
But you're reading it specifically for some information so you can know more about the subject.
so it's kind of similar to study, right?
Kind of, but really with the idea that you're trying to improve your knowledge about a particular field.
Okay. Now for our fourth word, unleash potential.
Unleash potential.
Unleash potential.
Unleash potential.
Okay, so to unleash.
All right. Well, I'm going to paint a picture for you.
All right.
So imagine you have your dog, right? Mm-hmm. And your dog is walking on a leash, like it has a string or a rope attached to it.
Right.
So then when you undo the leash, you unleash the dog, and then what happens?
It goes around and it's running. And,
Yeah, it's going everywhere.
Uh-huh.
So if you unleash potential, you release it and let it go and help it.
Grow and become
Yes.
bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
So you give it freedom.
Uh-huh.
So potential is the capabilities or abilities that a person has, right?
Yes.
To do something great. Mm-hmm. Okay. Unleash potential.
This, I think, is an excellent word to use in a job interview. I think it is really descriptive and really powerful.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's a good word. Okay, so let's take a look at our last one now. Resonate with.
Resonate with.
Resonate with.
Resonate with.
So he mentioned this really resonated with me. So what does he mean by resonated?
I guess he means it connected to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
It touched him.
So he agrees with this idea or he feels that he can relate to it.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I think this one needs a few examples to really show its meaning.
Okay, let's listen.
Example 1.
The candidate's speech really resonated with the voters.
Example 2.
Their music doesn't really resonate with me.
Example 3.
Their commitment to fight global warming resonates with me.
All right, so it's clear now to resonate with, right? Okay, so why don't we go and listen to our dialogue for the last time, and then we'll come back and give you some great pointers about preparing for a job interview.
Hello, and welcome to the English Podcast Zone. I'm really glad you're here because today we're diving into one of the most important and nerve-wracking situations in adult life, preparing for a job interview. Whether it's your first interview ever or your 10th time applying for a new position, being ready can make all the difference between landing the job and missing out. Let's be honest, job interviews are stressful. But the truth is, the more prepared you are, the more confident and successful you'll be. One of the first and most critical steps in preparation is doing thorough research about the company. I'm not talking about just quickly browsing their homepage. I mean really digging in. What's their mission statement? What are their core values? What kind of clients do they work with? Are they known for innovation, customer service, sustainability, or something else? This kind of research does two things. First, it helps you understand if the company is a good fit for you. Second, and this is key, it gives you something intelligent to say during the interview. Imagine being asked, "Why do you want to work here?" And being able to answer with something like, "I admire your commitment to ethical business practices and sustainable growth. That aligns with my personal and professional values." That's a strong answer that shows you've done your homework. Let me give you a tip. Look at their recent news, social media posts, and reviews on platforms like Glassdoor. Also, pay attention to their tone. Are they formal and corporate or friendly and casual? This tells you how to match your language and presentation style. While doing this research, take notes on specific words and phrases they use to describe themselves. Do they talk about innovation, global impact, unleashing potential? These keywords can become part of your answers later on. It's like speaking their language before you even walk through the door. And here's a vocabulary phrase to learn right now. Read up on. This means to gather information about something in order to understand it better. For example, I spent the weekend reading up on their latest product launch. It's a smart, natural expression you can actually use in the interview itself. Something like, "I read up on your company's recent expansion into the Asian market, and I'm excited about the direction you're heading." Also, get familiar with terms like growth opportunity, core values, and resonate with. These are powerful words to include in your speech. Saying that a company's mission resonates with you shows not just that you understand it, but that you feel connected to it. Finally, here's a mindset shift that can help you before any interview. You're not just applying for a job, you're offering value. The interview is a chance for you to demonstrate how your unique background, skills, and attitude can benefit the company. That begins by showing them you've already invested time in getting to know them. Once you've researched the company and feel confident about what they do, the next step is to prepare to talk about yourself, but not in a random or general way. In job interviews, you have to learn how to sell yourself, and that means clearly showing why you are the right fit for the job. Think of this like telling your professional story, but with a purpose. Every part of your story should be connected to how you can help the company. Start by identifying your strengths. Are you a strong communicator? A problem solver? Someone who thrives under pressure?
Great.
Now go a step further. Attach a specific example or achievement to each of those strengths. For instance, instead of saying, "I'm a good team player," try something like, "In my previous job, I led a team of 5 to complete a client project 2 weeks ahead of schedule, which saved the company both time and budget." Numbers and real results are powerful. They transform your words from opinions into proof. Here's a great phrase to learn. "I bring to the table." This is a very natural way to introduce your strengths. For example, "I bring to the table 5 years of experience managing client accounts in a fast-paced tech environment." It's clear, professional, and it focuses on what you can offer the company. It's also essential to tailor your skills to the job description. Look at the job posting and underline the key responsibilities and required skills. Then think of ways your experience matches those points. Use similar vocabulary when you describe your past work. This technique is called mirroring, and it can create a subtle sense of alignment between you and the employer. Let's talk vocabulary for a second. Here are a few high-impact phrases that will help you sound professional and polished. A proven track record of. This means you have real results from the past. Example, "I have a proven track record of improving customer satisfaction scores year after year." Strong grasp of. Use this to show you understand a concept or system well. Example, "I have a strong grasp of CRM systems like Salesforce and HubSpot." Hands-on experience with. This shows you didn't just study something, you actually did it. Example, "I have hands-on experience with project management tools such as Asana and Trello." And remember, being confident doesn't mean being arrogant. There's a big difference between saying, "I'm the best employee you'll ever hire," and saying, "I've consistently exceeded my performance targets and received positive feedback from supervisors." The second one sounds confident and credible. Before your interview, spend time practicing how you talk about your skills and experiences. Write down your key points. Say them out loud. This builds fluency and helps you speak naturally when it's time to impress the interviewer. The goal is to be clear, confident, and concise while showing that you are fully aware of your value and that you're ready to bring that value to the company. Now that you've researched the company and carefully prepared how to talk about your strengths, it's time to focus on one of the most overlooked but essential parts of job interview preparation: practice. Knowing what to say is one thing, but being able to say it clearly, confidently, and naturally is another. That's where real preparation happens. Let's begin with a simple truth. Practicing out loud is a game changer. You might feel silly talking to yourself or rehearsing answers alone, but this step helps you become comfortable with your own voice, your message, and your pacing. It also helps you catch unclear phrases, awkward grammar, or areas where you might stumble. Here's a practical method. Write down common interview questions and practice your answers out loud. Some examples include: tell me about yourself. Why do you want to work here? What are your strengths and weaknesses? Describe a time you solved a problem at work. Record yourself if possible. Use your phone, webcam, or any recording tool. When you listen back, pay attention to your tone, speed, and clarity. Are you speaking too fast? Do you sound confident? Do you use filler words like, or like, too often? These things matter more than you think. Another great strategy is to ask a friend or mentor to do a mock interview with you. Pick someone who will be honest, not just supportive. Ask them to challenge you, ask follow-up questions, or even interrupt you with unexpected ones. This builds your ability to think on your feet. And don't forget about body language. Employers pay close attention to nonverbal cues: how you sit, how you move your hands, how often you make eye contact. When you practice, focus on sitting up straight, maintaining steady eye contact, and using natural gestures that support your speech. One powerful expression you should know is carry yourself with confidence. This means your posture, facial expression, and general appearance show that you believe in yourself. Confidence is contagious, and employers want to feel that energy from you. Let me give you some more phrases and expressions to help you sound polished. I've prepared thoroughly for this opportunity. Shows commitment and effort. I'm eager to contribute to. Makes you sound enthusiastic and proactive. I'm comfortable navigating fast-paced environments. Great for dynamic workplaces. I'm results-driven and detail-oriented. Two key qualities employers love to hear. Remember, the more you practice, the more these expressions become part of your natural vocabulary. That's how you stop memorizing and start communicating with authenticity. And one final note, try to enjoy the practice process. Every time you rehearse, you're not just getting ready for one interview, you're becoming a better communicator overall. And that skill will serve you far beyond the job hunt. Now that you've practiced your answers and worked on body language and confidence, let's shift our focus to another crucial part of interview preparation: understanding the role you're applying for, inside and out. This isn't just about knowing the job title. It's about understanding exactly what the company expects from someone in that position and how you are prepared to deliver on those expectations. Start by reviewing the job description line by line. Every word matters. Employers don't write those descriptions randomly. They carefully choose language that reflects their ideal candidate. If they say they're looking for someone highly adaptable, detail-oriented, or experienced in cross-functional teams, those are your clues. You need to prepare examples from your background that clearly show you meet those needs. For example, if the job description emphasizes client management skills, talk about a time when you successfully handled a client relationship, especially if it was complicated or high pressure. Use a structure like this: situation, action, result. It keeps your answer focused and impactful. Let's break that down with an example. Situation: at my last job, one of our key clients was unhappy with delays in project delivery. Action: I took initiative to set up weekly check-ins, coordinated more closely with our developers, and adjusted timelines to be more realistic. Result: as a result, the client renewed their contract for another year and gave us a positive review on a major industry platform. This kind of storytelling shows that you're not just qualified, you're thoughtful, results-oriented, and capable of solving problems. Here's a phrase that you can use to introduce such a story. Let me walk you through a specific example that highlights the skill. This phrase is smooth, professional, and shows that you came prepared to share meaningful experiences. Another key idea is to think about how your unique combination of skills adds value to the role. Maybe you have tech skills and communication skills. Or maybe you've worked in different industries and can bring a fresh perspective. This is your edge. What makes you stand out? Also, study the company culture. Is it formal and structured, or more flexible and casual? If the role is in a startup, for example, they'll want someone who is adaptable and can wear many hats. If it's a large corporation, they may look for people who are process-driven and team-focused. Adjust the way you talk about your strengths to match the tone and expectations of the workplace. Vocabulary tip: learn how to describe yourself using high-impact adjectives. Here are a few great ones to include. Proactive: you take action before problems occur. Collaborative: you work well with others. Analytical: you think deeply and logically. Resourceful: you can solve problems creatively. Strategic: you plan carefully and think long-term. Using these words with examples in your answers shows emotional intelligence and self-awareness, two powerful traits interviewers look for. Understanding the role deeply and matching your story to it is like wearing a perfectly tailored suit. It shows that you fit the job, not just on paper, but in practice. And when you walk into the room prepared this way, your confidence won't be forced. It will be real. Let's now explore an area that often surprises candidates during interviews: questions about the company itself. Many people assume they're only there to answer questions, but smart interviewers will often turn the tables and ask, "Do you have any questions for us?" This is not just a polite ending to the conversation, it's a chance to impress. Your response to this question tells the interviewer a lot about how you think. If you say, "No, I think I'm good," it may sound like you're disinterested or unprepared. But if you ask thoughtful, specific questions, it shows you're seriously considering the role, the company culture, and your future within that organization. Here are a few strong questions you might ask. How does success in this role get measured? This shows that you care about performance and want to exceed expectations. What does a typical day look like for someone in this position? A great way to understand the reality of the job. How would you describe the company culture? This demonstrates your awareness that fit is just as important as qualifications. What are some of the challenges someone in this role might face? This shows maturity. You understand that no job is perfect and you want to be prepared. Now, one phrase you can use to introduce your questions is, "I was doing some research and had a few questions about." This is smooth and professional, and it subtly reminds them that you came prepared. Let's add some vocabulary to your toolkit that's perfect for this part of the interview. Insightful. Use this when you want to describe a good question or comment. Example: that's a really insightful point about the company's future plans. Forward-thinking. This is a compliment you can give the company. Example: your investment in green technology really shows how forward-thinking the company is. Mission-driven. Use this if the company emphasizes values and purpose. Example: I'm excited to be part of a mission-driven organization. It's also a good idea to ask about opportunities for growth. Try something like, what opportunities are there for professional development or advancement? This signals that you're not just looking for any job, you're thinking long-term. One final tip here: avoid asking about salary, time off, or benefits too early, especially if they haven't brought it up yet. It's okay to be curious about compensation, but asking about it in the first interview can send the wrong message. First, show that you're passionate about the role and the company. Save detailed discussions about pay and perks for later stages. Being the one who asks smart, strategic questions can set you apart from every other candidate. It turns the interview into a conversation between equals, exactly the kind of energy that makes a lasting impression. Now, let's talk about one of the most misunderstood but important parts of a job interview: body language and first impressions. Before you even say a word, The interviewer is already forming opinions about you based on how you walk into the room, how you sit, how you shake hands, and how you carry yourself. Studies have shown that people form strong impressions of others within the first few seconds of meeting them. That means your appearance, posture, and energy all speak before your voice does. So, let's break down how to make those first moments work in your favor. First, your entrance. Walk into the room with purpose. Don't rush, but don't shuffle slowly either. Stand tall, shoulders back, and wear a relaxed, natural smile. This shows confidence and calmness. Remember the phrase, carry yourself with confidence. It means your posture, movement, and overall presence show that you believe in your value. Then comes the handshake. A firm, full handshake, not too tight, not too weak, sends a signal that you are professional and confident. Make sure your palm connects fully with the other person's hand. Avoid the dreaded dead fish handshake, where your hand feels limp or half-committed. That kind of handshake can make a bad impression instantly. As you sit down, be aware of your posture. Sit upright, but not stiff. Keep both feet on the floor and place your hands either on the table or comfortably in your lap. Avoid slouching, crossing your arms, or tapping your feet. These small habits can make you look nervous or disengaged. Now, let's talk about eye contact. Maintaining steady eye contact while you speak shows confidence, trustworthiness, and strong communication skills. But there's a balance. Don't stare intensely without blinking. Just make sure you're regularly looking the interviewer in the eye when speaking and listening. If you're in a panel interview, make an effort to include all interviewers in your eye contact as you respond. One powerful expression to learn here is, nonverbal communication speaks volumes. This means that your gestures, posture, and expressions often say more than your words. Here are some additional phrases that are useful when talking about presence and behavior. Professional demeanor. This refers to your calm, respectful, and mature behavior. Example: he impressed the panel with his professional demeanor. Composed under pressure. A great phrase to describe yourself in interviews. Example: I've been told I stay composed under pressure, even in tight deadlines. Poised and articulate. This means you speak clearly and carry yourself with elegance and control. Example: we're looking for someone poised and articulate for this client-facing role. One final point, your clothing. Dress appropriately for the company's culture, but always aim to look neat, clean, and put together. If you're not sure about the dress code, it's better to be slightly overdressed than underdressed. This shows respect for the occasion. Remember, your body language is constantly sending messages. Make sure those messages support the words you say. The more aligned your verbal and nonverbal communication are, the more confident, capable, and trustworthy you'll appear to anyone sitting across the table. At this point, let's focus on another major skill that can truly elevate your interview performance: answering behavioral questions. These are the kinds of questions that start with phrases like, tell me about a time when, or give me an example of how you handled. They're designed to reveal how you think, react, and solve problems in real situations, not just how well you speak about yourself in theory. To tackle behavioral questions with confidence, you need a strong structure. One of the best and most widely used is the STAR method, which stands for situation: what was happening? Task: what were you supposed to do? Action: what did you actually do? Result: what was the outcome? Let me walk you through an example using this format. Suppose the question is, tell me about a time when you had to deal with a difficult client. Here's how a STAR response might sound. Situation: at my previous job, one of our major clients became frustrated because of delays in the product launch. Task: my responsibility was to rebuild their trust and improve the communication between our teams. Action: I scheduled weekly check-in meetings, gave them early access to progress updates, and made sure they had a direct line to our tech team. Result: within 2 months, their satisfaction score went up by 30%, and they renewed their contract for another year. That's a strong, clear answer. It's detailed, focused, and shows results. The STAR method helps you avoid vague answers and makes your responses more structured and persuasive. Here are some other common behavioral questions you should prepare for. Tell me about a time you worked under pressure. Describe a situation where you had to work with a difficult team member. Give an example of a goal you set and how you achieved it. Explain a time you made a mistake and how you handled it. Each of these questions gives you a chance to showcase your problem-solving skills, resilience, and emotional intelligence. Don't be afraid to talk about challenges or even failures, as long as you highlight how you learned from them or turn them into positive outcomes. And now, some useful vocabulary and expressions to help you shine during this type of question. Took initiative means you acted without being told. Example, I took initiative to redesign the client onboarding process. Resolved a conflict shows maturity and leadership. Example, I successfully resolved a conflict between two departments by facilitating open communication. Demonstrated leadership, perfect for team-based stories. Example, I demonstrated leadership by organizing the team strategy during a critical deadline. Adapted quickly shows flexibility. Example, when our budget was cut, I adapted quickly and redesigned the campaign with limited resources. The key to mastering behavioral questions is preparation. Think of a few strong stories from your past experiences and practice telling them using the STAR format. These real-life examples are what make your interview answers believable, relatable, and memorable. When you tell a great story with confidence and clarity, you're not just giving information, you're painting a picture of the kind of person you'll be on the job. And that's exactly what employers want to see. Now, let's turn our attention to another crucial interview skill, talking about your weaknesses. This is a question that many candidates dread, but when handled the right way, it can actually make you stand out in a very positive light. First, let's understand the purpose behind this question. When interviewers ask, "What's your biggest weakness?" or "Tell me about an area you're working to improve," they're not trying to trap you or embarrass you. What they really want to know is, are you honest with yourself? Are you self-aware? And most importantly, are you someone who is committed to personal growth? A great way to approach this question is to choose a real weakness, something authentic, but not something that would make you unfit for the job. And then show how you're actively working to improve it. This balance of honesty and responsibility is what creates a strong, professional answer. Let's look at an example. I used to struggle with delegating tasks. I felt that if I didn't do something myself, it wouldn't be done perfectly. But over time, I realized that this approach limited my team and created unnecessary pressure. So I started focusing on trust building and communication, and I've made it a point to train and empower others. It's still something I'm improving, but I've already seen a huge difference in team performance and my own stress levels. That's an excellent answer because it shows growth, reflection, and leadership potential. Notice that it starts with a weakness, but ends with a lesson and a result. Here are a few safe but meaningful weaknesses you can consider, depending on the job. Perfectionism can lead to overworking or focusing too much on small details. Public speaking, if the job doesn't require frequent presentations, this can be a relatable one. Saying yes too often shows you're a team player, but also learning to set boundaries. Being too independent shows you're self-reliant, but working on better collaboration. Be careful not to disguise a strength as a weakness. Interviewers can usually see through answers like, "I work too hard," or "I care too much." These sound insincere or rehearsed. Instead, show that you're a human being who learns and grows over time. Useful vocabulary to include in this part of your answer. Self-aware means you understand your own behavior and mindset. Example, I try to be self-aware and reflect on how I can improve each week. Growth mindset, a great phrase to show you believe in learning and development. Example, I believe in having a growth mindset, so I see every weakness as a chance to improve. Actively working on, use this to show progress. Example, it's something I'm actively working on through training and feedback. Learning curve refers to the process of getting better over time. Example, it was a learning curve, but I've adapted and become more confident in that area. Being honest about your weaknesses isn't a sign of failure, it's a sign of maturity. And employers respect candidates who are willing to acknowledge their challenges and do the work to overcome them. So instead of fearing this question, prepare for it and use it as an opportunity to prove your strength. Let's now look at a powerful part of the job interview that many candidates underestimate: closing the interview with strength. How you end an interview can be just as important as how you begin. This is your final chance to leave a positive, lasting impression, and you want to walk out knowing you did everything possible to show your value. The end of the interview often includes a few final questions from the interviewer, followed by a polite conclusion like, "Is there anything else you'd like to add?" This is not a throwaway moment. This is your golden opportunity to summarize your strengths, reinforce your enthusiasm, and express gratitude professionally. Here's a strong way to approach that final moment. "Yes, I'd just like to say that I'm genuinely excited about this opportunity. Based on everything I've learned about the company and this role, I believe my background in insert your field, along with my strengths in insert 1 to 2 key skills, would allow me to contribute meaningfully from day one." This type of closing shows clarity, confidence, and commitment, all qualities that hiring managers appreciate. Also, consider adding a personal touch related to something you discussed in the interview. For example, when you mentioned the team's upcoming expansion project, it really resonated with me. I've worked on similar initiatives in the past, and I'd love the chance to support your team through that growth. This shows you were listening carefully, engaged fully, and thinking ahead. It makes your presence in the interview feel active, not passive. Here are some excellent phrases you can learn and use in this final stage. "I'd be thrilled to bring my experience to your team." Positive and enthusiastic. "I'm confident I can contribute to your goals right away." Shows readiness. "This role strongly aligns with my professional values and future direction." Emphasizes fit. "Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today." Polite and appreciative. And one of the smartest things you can do is express genuine curiosity about next steps. Don't demand answers, but show that you're eager to continue the process. "May I ask what the next steps are in the hiring process?" This is a completely natural and professional question. It signals your interest and gives you clarity about what to expect. Another great move? Send a follow-up thank you email within 24 hours of your interview. It doesn't have to be long, just a few sentences thanking the interviewer for their time, briefly repeating your enthusiasm for the position, and maybe referring to a moment from your conversation. That email might be the detail that makes you stand out when they're deciding between final candidates. Remember this phrase: leave them with certainty. When you walk out of the interview, or end a virtual one, you want the employer to feel certain that you are not just a good candidate, but the right one. Your closing words can help make that happen. To wrap up this deep dive into job interview preparation, let's focus on something that ties everything together: mindset. While strategies, language, and preparation are crucial, the way you think about the interview can make or break your performance. Many people walk into interviews with fear. Fear of saying the wrong thing, fear of not being good enough, fear of rejection. But here's a truth that can completely shift your perspective. The interview is not an exam, it's a conversation. It's an exchange between two sides trying to find a match. Yes, you're being evaluated, but you are also evaluating the company. Do their values align with yours? Can you see yourself growing there? Is this a place where you feel challenged and supported? When you adopt this balanced mindset, it changes your tone, your energy, and your confidence. Let me give you a phrase that captures this. "I'm here to see if we're a good fit for each other." This mindset helps you stay grounded, even if the pressure is high. Also, remember that confidence doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from being prepared. If you've done your research, practiced your answers, reflected on your experiences, and walked in with clarity, then you're already in the top percentage of candidates. Let's review a few high-impact expressions you can use to describe your overall approach to work and interviews. "I believe in continuous improvement." Shows growth mindset. "I approach challenges as opportunities to grow." Signals resilience. "I value collaboration and communication." Key traits for almost every role. "I take ownership of my work and aim for excellence." A statement of responsibility and ambition. These aren't just phrases, they're reflections of the professional mindset you bring to the table. When you communicate this clearly, you're showing the interviewer the kind of employee you'll be. And finally, trust yourself. Interviews aren't just about having the right answers. They're about being authentic, present, and engaged. It's okay to pause and think. It's okay to admit you don't know something, as long as you show you're eager to learn. It's okay to be a real person, not a robot with memorized lines. So, as you prepare for your next interview, don't just practice your answers. Practice your mindset. Walk in as someone who has value to offer, who's done the work, and who's ready to contribute. That kind of energy is powerful. That's what employers remember. Thank you for being a part of the English Podcast Zone.
Okay, so let's go over everything one more time. I really want you to get this job.
I know, it's an amazing growth opportunity. They're true industry leaders, and it would be so interesting to be part of an organization that is the undisputed leader in business process platform development.
So let's see. You did your research on the company, right?
Well, I visited the website and read up on what they do. They're an IT service company that offers comprehensive business solutions for large corporations. They provide services such as CRM development, and they also offer custom-designed applications.
So what would be your role in the company?
Well, the position is for an account manager. That basically means that I would be the link between our clients and our development team.
Sounds good. And so, why do you want to work with them?
Well, as I said, they're the industry leaders. They have a really great growth strategy, amazing development opportunities for employees, and it seems like they have a strong corporate governance. They're all about helping companies grow and unleashing potential. I guess their core values and mission really resonated with me. Oh, and they offer 6 weeks vacation, stock options, and bonuses. I'm totally going to cash in on that.
You idiot! You don't say that. Do you want this job or not?
Okay, so preparing for a job interview is really important, right?
Yes. Yep.
And we're going to give you some really basic tips about how you can prepare for a job interview.
Yep. I got to confess something to you, Marco.
What?
I love job interviews.
Really?
Yeah, I know it's really weird. Most people hate them, but I love them.
So you love being the interviewer or going to job interviews?
Both.
Really?
Yeah. I like everything about them. So I feel like I have a lot of passion to share with you about this.
All right, so let's take a look at the first point or the first tip that you can help us out with. So before you go to a job interview, you should do a little bit of research, right?
Right, and that's our first point. It's really important to know as much as you can about the company, their history, their product, their management style, just as much information as you can find out about how they work and what they do.
And why do you think this is important?
Well, basically, you'll be asked about it in the interview.
Right.
And so if you show that you haven't prepared, you haven't done any research, you show that you don't care.
One of the best ways that you can impress in a job interview is to show that you know about the company, that important things like you know what kind of products they offer or what's their largest market.
Yep.
And I guess that really impresses the interviewer because
Yeah.
it shows that you are interested in this company and that you really want the job.
And that you are willing to do the extra work it takes to prepare yourself. Because I think that will show the interviewer that later on, when you're working for them, you'll do that extra work on the job.
Exactly. That's a really good point. So that's our first point, our first tip, to do some research.
Yes.
Now, you've done your research, you know everything about the company. What else should you do?
Once you've read up on the company, you've got to spend some time thinking about yourself. You've got to prepare to sell yourself to the company.
Okay. So to sell yourself, to really demonstrate them why you are the perfect person for the job.
Right, because a lot of people think about why they want to work for the company, right? Because they feel like they're aligned with the core values or the message of the company resonates with them. But what the interviewer really wants to hear is how you, the interviewee, is going to benefit the company. What are you going to bring to the company?
Right, and this is the most important part, is to know what are your skills, right?
Yes.
And it's not enough to just say, well, I am a great leader.
Yep.
Right? So if you are a great leader, you should be ready to give an example of how you have demonstrated to be a great leader, right?
Yes. All right, so maybe like an example, like I'm a really strong leader because in my previous job, I had the best JD Power ratings for employee satisfaction.
Okay. So you're actually showing with numbers or with
Yes.
facts that you are a great leader.
Yeah. So the key thing here, I think, is identify what your strengths and skills are. Think of specific examples. If you can, give numbers and show how you can bring this skill and your experiences to the new company.
And now, well, you're ready to sell yourself. You've done your research. Now you have all of these things in your mind. You have to practice.
Yes.
Right?
A much overlooked stage in the preparation.
Yeah. A lot of people think it through. They write things down, but don't really practice.
Yeah. So I know you have a few tips about how you can practice interviewing effectively.
Okay. Well, the first thing that you should do is use your friends.
Yeah.
Right?
They gotta be good for something.
Exactly. And well, probably your friends are also working at a company.
Yeah.
Maybe they're managers, or maybe they've interviewed someone before already. So you can set up a mini interview and have them pretend that they are the interviewer and ask you these questions, and you're trying to answer seriously. And I'm sure that your friends can give you some great feedback. Maybe
Yeah.
what you did right, maybe what you did wrong. So that's a really good way. And another thing is also you can record yourself,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. If you have a video camera or even many people have a webcam like right in your laptop. Record yourself actually doing the practice interview with your friend.
And this is really useful because you can later see what you recorded and detect some of the things that maybe aren't really useful or good. You know, for example, posture is a really important aspect.
So what do you mean posture?
So the way that you are sitting down in your seat,
Yep.
how you are expressing yourself with your hands.
Yep.
Some people, they move a lot during the interview because, of course, you're nervous. So
Yeah.
maybe they're moving from side to side or playing with their feet or playing with something on the table or moving their hands in an awkward way. So those are the things that you have to watch out for.
Yes. So I guess it's really important to sit up straight and to show that you are powerful and in control.
And another really great thing is eye contact, right?
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier.
And why is eye contact so important?
If an interviewee maintains eye contact with me for like most of the interview, I feel like they have really good people skills.
In my opinion, I would say they have a lot of self-confidence.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Right?
Yep.
Because if a person is looking down or not looking directly at you, it's either one of two things, in my opinion. It's either they are not confident enough with themselves or they are lying to you.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Or also they don't have good people skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a problem in today's sort of knowledge-based economy.
Exactly. So it's really important to maintain eye contact. And one other really important thing related to eye contact posture
Yep.
is the handshake. When you get to the interview, it's really, really important to give a firm, good handshake.
So what qualifies as a firm, good handshake?
Well, you don't have to prove that you are ultra strong, right? So you don't have to squeeze the other person's hand really hard.
And like break their hand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like a strength contest.
No.
A good firm handshake is squeezing normally, not too tight, not too loose.
Yeah.
But your entire palm, your entire hand has to be in contact with the other person's palm or hand.
Yes.
Don't give them the fingers, like
Yeah.
some people give you only 4 fingers or half their hand.
Yeah, I hate that.
I hate it too. And this goes for men and for women
Yeah.
because a lot of women do this.
Yep. I call this the dead fish handshake.
The dead It is kind of like a dead fish or the dead hand
yeah.
handshake.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you on this one. So, nice firm handshake.
Yeah. Firm handshake. And, well, these are our tips for preparing for the interview, everything you have to do before it. I'm sure there are a lot more things out there. And I'm sure our users have some insight on this as well.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it because like I told you, I love job interviews.
Yeah, so come to our website at englishpod.com. Leave us your comments. Maybe you've had a good experience with a job interview or maybe a bad one. Or maybe even as an interviewer, you've interviewed some really interesting people.
And you've got some great tips to share with us.
Exactly. So come to our website, leave your questions, leave your comments, share your experiences with our other users. And Eric and I will also be there to participate in the discussion.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. And until next time, goodbye.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. Let's try that faster. Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.